good evening. On behalf of my entire team, I, Priyesh Sharan, the corporate lead of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors SRM, welcome you all to our event, Marketin, where our speaker, Ms. Anita Tejwani, will be guiding you through the topics personal branding, influencer marketing, and LinkedIn growth in a fun and innovative way. As a club, we host several events, such as workshops, webinars, and competitions. These are just a few glimpses of those. Our journey was started in 2014 when our club was established by Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, who were at that time known as Microsoft Student Partners. We have come a long way since then. If we just talk about 2020, then we have conducted a lot of successful and helpful events, such as in February, we conducted the Big Data Analytics and PM workshop. In March, we conducted the App Development and AR/VR workshop in collaboration with Neuer Industries. In April, we conducted the Personal Branding workshop by Head of Global Internship Microsoft, Ms. Miri Rodriguez. In May, we conducted the competition Best Shot, the Ultimate Designing Challenge, in which the winners were provided with dribble invites. In September, we conducted a workshop on building REST APIs from scratch. In our event Spooky Pie, we taught our participants about Python and GitHub from scratch. And now we are here in our event Marketin, where we'll be talking about personal branding, influencer marketing, and LinkedIn growth. As a technical club, apart from events, we also work on some amazing projects, be it chatbots, mental health applications, budget trackers. We have it all. And if we don't, we are probably working on it. I would like to mention just a few of them. Here for You is a mental health application in collaboration with the psychiatry department of SRM Hospital. TrackBugs is the budget tracker. SRM Eats is an app where we can find restaurants nearby SRM to grab a bite. Lexicon is an auto tagger for articles. And Atlas is our very own chatbot which is there on our website. We did around 12 plus projects in 2020. Kudos to that. Now let me introduce our prestigious speaker for today, Ms. Anita Tejwani. Anita ma'am wears multiple hats. She's a poet, an author, an ex-radio jockey, an ex-inspirational journalist, and now a successful entrepreneur and storyteller. Ma'am's passion about personal branding gave rise to Wings to Wills. Wings to Wills is a venture which aims to provide personal branding services to individuals. We are truly blessed to have you with us today, ma'am. I would like to thank our sponsors, without whom the event wouldn't have been possible. Forex India, Stream Solutions, and the Soul Store. You can expect a little surprise in your inboxes soon from the Soul Store, along with the certificates. With that, now Anita ma'am will be taking over and we will start with the event Marketing. Event Marketing. Event Marketing.
Ma'am, ma'am, you're live. You can start.
Okay. Um, I okay, just hold on a second. I am trying to figure out something with my screen right now.
Ma'am, ma'am, you're live.
Okay, so how many people are we there? Okay. Um, Am I audible? Okay, just hold on a second. Hello. I'm trying to figure out something with my screen right now.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out as to how many people are, in the audience or how many people are listening because I cannot see that. Hello. I'm trying to figure out something with my screen right now.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, sure. So, hello everyone. Very good evening to all of you, and thank you for making the time to, come to this session. And, of course, this is something going to be valuable for you. So, stay till the end, and I'm sure that, um, something will come to your knowledge into this whole webinar that will really, really help you scale up either your personal brand or the kind of goals that you're trying to achieve through your journey. So, I'm sure the introductions have been done, but I'll start with a quick one on my own. So, I'd like to share my screen for that. Either your personal brand or the kind of goals that you're I hope all of you are able to see this. So, this is just a quick introduction about myself. I started writing at the age of 12, that is back in 2007, and this came to me as a blessing or a boon, whatever you would like to say it. These poetry actually came to me when I thought like I'm an introvert and I cannot actually talk about things that are happening and I cannot convey my thoughts properly to people. So I kind of started writing them out. And by the year of 2013, I actually had penned down more than 700 poems. And not many people actually knew about it. Not even my parents knew that, I had written all of these poems. So it was now a task for me to search for a publisher and get it published. And, there were mentors who were actually pushing me to become an author. Well, that actually happened in 2014 when I found, a self-publishing author and went ahead and got the book published. It was a great day for me. I recall, the book launch day. It was really an amazing day for me because, a whole year before that day, I was actually going around telling people that I'm going to become an author. And I did not know how it feels when you actually become an author. So the day when I got to know how it feels, it was really overwhelming and it was really amazing. And that day actually gave me a lot of hope and a lot of, I would say, motivation from inside that I can do anything that I put my mind onto. And that was one thing that changed a lot of things for me. That's when in 2015 I happened to make two national records by actually doing a lot of journalism while I was a student of mathematics. Back in college, I was studying Bachelor's of Science, and mathematics was my major subject. While on the side, I was doing journalism, which was nowhere close to mathematics. And I took up this crazy challenge upon myself that I will interview 365 people in 365 days, and I'll write about their stories to inspire people. But what happened was I actually completed 350 stories only. There was a lack of 15 stories, and I wouldn't blame myself for that. But, that was the challenge. And that actually got me to make a national record of India's youngest journalist to have achieved that feat. Because those were the stories of really, really inspiring people from 28 countries. So yeah, that was that. And there was this another national record which I got with my mom on graduating together from college. This is a story for some other day, I would say, because it's a long story again, and it is a really beautiful one where no one of us would actually imagine, going to college with our parents because obviously, we love to enjoy our life in college, but जब parents आ जाते हैं to, in the college, you actually don't tend to enjoy your college life that much. But that wasn't the thing for me, and it is really an exciting story how I got my mom to study with me in college, and we completed our degrees together, and we made a national record for India as only mother daughter to have graduated together. Moving on, I did graduate in 2015. It's just been, I would say, 5.5 years now. And in 2016, that was just a year after my graduation, I started my first ever company. It's called Wings to Wills, and that's into personal branding. I help individuals like you, like CEOs, like fashion stylists, like chefs, authors, lawyers, anyone, any individual to build their personal brand in order to achieve the goals that they wish to. Okay. And I help them with different strategies to reach their goals. And that has worked really well for the last 4 years now. And we are turning 5 next year on in January actually. So I'm really happy about that as well. And currently, I'm the co-founder of Spaceman Digital, which is an digital marketing, influencer marketing, public relations, branding agency in Bangalore. And we have worked with quite a lot of clients from the startup space in Bangalore, in Singapore, and in US. And we offer all of these services to them, which has helped them grow their user base and their I've already mentioned some of the names over here. So obviously you can understand what kind of clients we hold, and it's been a real good journey working with them. So coming to today's topic as to what are we going to discuss, as I hold an expertise into personal branding and LinkedIn marketing and influencer marketing. I'll be talking about those things, and I'll try to keep a context wherein it can help you guys, with your, it basically gives you a tailor-made situation, tailor-made solution for your needs. Okay, I'll try to put it that way. But before we move forward, I would like to know what kind of audience do we have here today? Are we students? Are we professionals? Um, can you guys, someone in the back end please help me with this?
Students.
Okay, mostly we are students, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for that. So let's start here. Uh, okay. So first of all, what is storytelling? I'm sure we have all been raised, we have become this big by actually listening to stories every day. Like बचपन से हमने स्कूल के टाइम में नर्सरी से हमने सिर्फ स्टोरीज ही सुने हैं, right? Stories have been with us from our very beginning. In fact, if you ever go to your mom, she would have a story of how you were born, or how much pain you were when you were actually taking birth. Or if you go to your dad, he will always have a story of how he traveled, across cities, or so many kilometers he used to travel just to go to school or to go to work. And then if you go to your siblings, they might have stories of how you used to be, stubborn, or how you actually irritated them, or what were the incidents that, they remember about you. And then if you go to your friends, they'll tell you stories of their relationships, or their failures, or their, friends who are not friends with them now, but they were friends earlier. And there are so many stories, right? So all of these are the stories that we have been surrounded by all the time, right? But in the context of moving to the world in a professional way, what does storytelling, hold? How much of an importance does storytelling hold? So I'll tell you. Um, when I actually landed my first ever digital marketing job, I actually had never learned digital marketing from any institute or from any guru or any coach or anyone, actually, right? And I just had a bit of a knowledge about it that was from YouTube. And that was all. Like, I had just watched a few videos. Even before going for the interview, I had actually watched a few videos and I just went into the interview. I told them my whole story as to, what all I have done in the past. And I told them a truth in the end that I may not know much about digital marketing, but I am this person who puts my mind onto something, who takes up challenges, and I have a track record of fulfilling those challenges. And if you give me this challenge of doing digital marketing for you, even though I do not know much about it, I will be able to do it because I'm going to put my mind onto it. Guess what? I got that job without having any degree, any certificate, any understanding, any experience, or anything into digital marketing before that job. But I got it because I told them a story to make them believe, one, that I'm trustworthy, second, that I am honest, and third, that I am hardworking. And they wanted someone like that. I'm not telling you to go lie to people, but try to tell your story. Try to not just tell them, these are the interviews that these are the internships that I've done. Well, that doesn't make much sense to me. If today I'm running a company and if you come to me and if I want to hire you and you tell me this is the internship that I've done, it doesn't really make sense to me. But if you tell me the kind of struggles that you went through, the kind of challenges that you felt because you were not emotionally or mentally ready for them, and then you overcame those challenges, and this is a new equilibrium that um, you have attained. It gives me an idea of the person you are. It gives me something to trust upon. It gives me more, an image of you that I would want to have a person like you working with me, right? So there is always this one thing about stories that they start from somewhere and they end somewhere, and in the between, in the middle, there are a lot of challenges. There are challenges that actually break or make the hero, and there is a climax where the hero of the story actually finds a solution to their problem. Okay, so let's see towards one example. Little Red Riding Hood. Um, is there just tell me, is there a way where I can actually ask questions in between and the people can type the answers? Is there a way to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where can I see them?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that.
Oh, okay, sure. I will just 1 second. Okay, I hope my screen is visible again. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I'm sure everyone would have read this little story in our earlier schooling time, that there was this little Red Riding Hood, and there was this story about how she goes into to pick flowers and her grandma's sick, and how she actually gets the lesson out of that was that do not talk to wolves. So how does this story go? Okay, so there is an equilibrium where it starts with, and then she enters the woods where all the challenges happen, and then there is, you know, a climax where she is saved by a hunter man, and then she actually finds the equilibrium, and she finds a what you call lesson that says, "Do not talk to wolves." This was a very, very simple storytelling format which was used by, the author to tell us that stories are really simple, but they have always been having this one formula. There is this formula to tell a story. Okay. So here's the formula. There is always a beginning, and then there is a turning point, then there is a climax, and then there is an end. Talk of any movie that you have seen so far. Any movie. Take any movie, be it say Wall-E, or say Toy Story, or say The Godfather, or any of the recent movies that you would have seen. I do not watch many movies, but you can name a few. And then you can, every time that you watch a movie, try to watch this thing in the hero. Just try to understand. What they are trying to make out of a movie is that one, they are trying to put so many details around the hero, so many emotional connections around the hero, that we all, as viewers, kind of try to emotionally connect with the hero, because that is what keeps us till the end. That is what keeps us thinking, how is this hero actually going to come out of these problems, right? So in the very beginning, you kind of emotionally connect with the hero because his weak points are your weak points, or his troubles are troubles for you, his challenges are bigger challenges for you, or his being happy is your end goal. So you connect with the hero so much that when the turning point in his life comes, you are all hooked to the story, you're all hooked to the movie, that you're not going to leave it until there's a happy ending, or until he achieves that kind of equilibrium, or he achieves, say, the heroine, or he achieves whatever he's trying to achieve, right? So every time you go and tell a story, because it is important. Now I'll tell you, if you're going for an interview, it is important you tell a story. If you're going to make a long lasting impression on someone, it is very important you tell a story. If you are going to even impress anyone, I won't even say your girlfriend or boyfriend or anyone. If you're trying to impress someone as well, that you need to tell stories. Storytelling is the main thing we have been doing from so long, but this is what you need to do. So every time you go for an interview, make sure that you have this particular graph in your mind. Try to make it interesting. Try to make it so engaging. Try to be the hero that the interviewer connects with. Try to be the hero for whom the interviewer would want to listen to you till the end, so that you can tell them, see, these were the challenges I was facing, and this is how I overcame them. This is how I have found a new equilibrium, right? So here is a little story I would like to tell you. Um, People used to, when I got this national record for India's youngest journalist, people actually used to ask me, like, how did this even happen? Because I was in a very small town back then. Um, it was named Kutch. I don't know how many of you would have heard of it. It's quite a famous place, though. Um, and back there, I come from a village. Okay. Now it's a town, but earlier I think it was a village. So I come from there. People there are very satisfied, very peaceful. The life there is very calm. You do not see much traffic there. You do not see much, You do not have buses there. You do not have trains there. It's a very secluded place. You come from there, and the only resources you actually have is a 2G internet. You don't even have 3G. You do not have 4G. You do not have anything about that. That's all you have. So the kind of resources you have is very, very less. And then you have studies to do. So one fine day, I actually found this person on the internet, and I told him, "Hey, I'm looking for some publishers. Would you help me publish my book?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I also hold a publish. I'm also publishing a magazine. Why don't you publish your poetry in that magazine?" And I was like, "No, because I want to write my poems in a book so that the book can do sales. I don't want it to be on an online magazine where everyone can just read it for free. I want to make money out of it." This is a second year kid talking to a CEO. Basically, he was a founder of this magazine. And I was telling him that I want to make money out of it. I do not want to do things for free. And he was like, "How can you be so money minded at this age?" And well, it so turns out that he said, "You shouldn't be this money minded. Maybe you can publish some of your work free of cost for my magazine." And I was like, "That's very absurd of you for asking me, but okay, let me see what I can do next week." This person tells me, "Well, do you know that there were some interns from Bangalore who did like 10 stories in a week, and those were interviews of inspiring people, and they did them in a week span, and those are the people who are going to succeed in life because if they put their mind onto something, they are going to achieve it. While people like you who say you're going to see something that happens next week, well, next week never comes because tomorrow never comes." And I was like, "Okay, see, I have exams the coming week. I really cannot do this." And I was being, an intern. Well, maybe I was not even being an intern. I was being someone who was more focused on my own goals. But when this person said that people like you cannot be successful, is when it just struck me. It just, triggered me that no, people like me are going to be successful, and I am not taking shit from this person because this person doesn't know me. And I was all triggered, and I told him, "Okay, you said there were two interns of yours who did around 10 stories in a week. I am giving you a challenge that I will do 11 stories in a week single handedly because those were two people. I am just one. And I'm going to do 11. And you are going to take your words back that, you said something like that to me." I have always been the stubborn person, I guess, and that has worked really well for me. I won't say it works well for everyone, though. So do things on your own risk. But I have always been like this, that if I put my mind onto something, I'm going to do it. But something happened. What happened was that a week passed by, a whole week passed by where I had to actually study for my upcoming exams. And this person calls me on exact time that he had called me a week earlier and said those words. It was time that, I wanted this person to take his words back, but he asked me, "How many stories have you done? Did you do 11 stories?" I said, "No, I did not do 11 stories." And there was a pause. This person said, "See, I told you, people like you cannot succeed." And I said, "Okay, hold on. Just open your email because there are going to be around 14 stories of inspiring people who have interviewed over this whole week without sleeping enough, without taking time out to eat, without taking time out to go meet my friends, or without preparing for my exams or without doing anything. I have actually put out all my energy, all my work, all my time onto this, and they are in your email right now. And they were ready to publish. They were not even drafts. They were like real stories ready to be published. This person had to actually take back his words after seeing that he put me into challenges. He gave me a turning point, and I have overcome those challenges and found a new equilibrium where things were not impossible for me. Things were, I actually knew that I had even more potential than I thought I had. So this was one little story where, you know, I'll I believe that it kind of aligns with all the rules of storytelling. So, and it's a real story. So I hope it keeps people engaging to who you are as a person, and you should do this more and more often. Try to do it with your friends. Try to do it with your colleagues. Try to do with anyone you meet. Try to even talk to strangers. Tell them your story, and that is going to give you a real nice grip on storytelling, because that is going to help you a lot in the coming times. Well, moving on. This is just for your reference. If you guys want to take a screenshot of it, or just if you want to take a note of it, you guys can do this, because this is just a written format of how to write a story. So is it okay if I skip this, or would you like for me to stop over here? Sorry?
They can come back to this and check this out, ma'am.
Oh, okay, for sure. Great, then let's move ahead. This is going to be fun stuff now, because, okay, this is again what I've already communicated. What is now a brand? Can we have answers from the audience here, Aryan?
Sure, ma'am.
I would like for each one of you to tell me, what is a brand according to you, right? I just don't need brand names like Nike or McDonald's or any of those. I need, what is a brand? Basically, how do you define what a brand is? And please do not give me Google wale answers, because I would always know what your answers are going to be. So give me what you think of it, because this is going to be interesting now.
Okay, ma'am. So we have one answer coming in. So that says brand is what people see in you.
Okay.
Okay. And the second answer is something which says a story in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Third answer is brand is a promise of quality.
Okay.
And we have one more answer coming in, and it's a brand is like an identity of a firm, maybe. Okay. Right. So yes, ma'am.
Great. Great answers, I would say. Really impressive. I wasn't expecting that good answers though. But really, really nice to have those answers. The promise of a brand, the value that you get. I think I loved that answer. Who was that person? Can you please tell me their name?
Okay, ma'am. So that's Shantanu.
Shantanu, this was a really nice answer. Congratulations on that. I loved your answer. Well, moving forward, let me tell you, how do I tell you what a brand is, right? Because I've been into the business of branding. Well, there was this one also answer which people remember you for. There was something like that, right? So that's also a great answer. I'll tell you why. Say today you come into this webinar thinking that you'll get a lot of value. And by the end of it, you realize, oh, yeah, we actually got value, right? So, what are you going to remember me as? Are you going to remember me as someone who was telling you about storytelling and personal branding, or someone who actually gave you some value that you can use into your, um, your life and scale up from there? So basically, more like someone who has helped you, more like a friend who has helped you grow into your career. So, if you remember me as anything, that is going to be my brand into your head, and all of you people might have a different brand of me by the end of this because, you know, I do not want you to just remember me as something that a title that I hold, but something that I can bring a change about in your life, right? So, promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising, distinctive design, and keeping up the promise of providing the value. Say you go to McDonald's and you love this nice, what do you call, a Mac Maharaja paneer burger. Okay, you just love that one. So what you do is you every time you go there, you order this one meal. Okay. And every time you eat it, you are equally satisfied because you are like, "De to hamesha same taste ka hi hota hai. This is like always consistent." And one time, then you go there and you do not find the same taste. You somehow feel that there is something different with the taste, or it's not that good. It's not giving you the same feeling. It's not giving you the same experience. And then you feel, oh, there is something wrong. And McDonald's as a brand stands for the consistency of their food or the taste of their food. Now, here the brand promise that they promise you that you will always get this consistent taste whenever you go to any outlet. But here they did not stand up to their promise, especially for you. So the next time you go in, you might have some trust issues, or you might as well not go in because you would be like, no, they changed the taste last time. They have lost my trust because they broke the promise. And the same thing happens with you and your friends as well. If someone breaks the promise, you think that this one person is always going to be so honest with me, but that one person actually breaks your trust. You're not going to um, trust that person again. So basically, they lost you. Similarly, the brands lose their customers if they do not keep up to the promise. So you do not go to McDonald's again, and they lost you as their customer. So it is very, very important to establish that brand with a promise of value, be it on a person or with a company or a brand. It is very important to establish that value and keep up to that value, to keep up with that promise. If you break the promise, you're not getting anything in return. So that is equally applicable for everyone. Okay. If you Aryan, if anyone has any questions in between, maybe on these slides, maybe you can tell me.
Sure, ma'am, I'll do
Right.
that. I'll do.
Okay, great. So moving on, now as we have already spoken about brand in the context of say McDonald's or any corporate, let's speak about what a personal brand is. I'm sure someone has already answered this, so I won't go back into asking that. And we have already discussed as to the person who keeps up to their promise. So let's dive deep into this. A personal brand is a practice of making a long-lasting image in people's heads by helping them solve their problems. Exactly what I said. Like, if I solve your problems today, you are going to remember me. If not, you might as well remember me for, say, we attended a webinar, but it was not useful for us. So it can be either positive or negative, but it is going to have an image into your heads. So that is an ongoing process of developing and maintaining a reputation and impression of an individual. Let's move forward with some nice, fun examples. Okay, tell me the person you can relate this logo with. Aryan, please let me
Okay,
know.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we have a question coming in from Rudra.
Mhm.
So that question says how a brand should improve its public image.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, coming to how a brand can improve it, one, we need to know what a brand needs to improve on, right? Say, give me an example of a brand that went wrong in the public image. More like, mm, what kind?
Nokia maybe.
Nokia, did it go wrong in public's eye?
Hmm.
You example where they were actually bashed by the public saying कि नहीं तो बहुत बुरी brand है मतलब इसने तो हमारा खराब कर दिया
All
we
right. Okay.
launch. Do we have any suggestions from the audience?
Ma'am.
We
Okay, so
have
we recently had Tanishq.
Tanishq, yeah.
We
Sorry?
recently had we recently had Tanishq
Yeah.
and Kingfisher as well, and
Okay.
Whitehead Junior.
Oh, very nice. Great
Right.
examples, actually. This is gonna be fun then. Okay. So now this said we are taking one brand. कौन सा लूं जिसके ऊपर सबसे ज्यादा स्टेक हो
Uh, Whitehead Junior.
White Hat Junior. I knew that was coming because सबसे ज्यादा स्टेक उसी के ऊपर है ना
Right.
Okay. So, understanding the story so far, I hope everyone is on the same page as to where the story is going. White Hat Junior has actually faced a lot of backslash after they got acquired by Byju's for the all cash deal of around $300 million. I guess that was the deal. Um, when that happened, there were a lot of investors, a lot of you know entrepreneurs, and there were a lot of engineers who actually did not understand why was White Hat Junior valued at that level. Okay, why was it valued at that kind of a valuation, whatever it got? And now with the kind of marketing they did, that was absurd because their marketing team did not realize that it might as well backfire on them. The brand lost its trust mainly when Mr. Punia brought to the knowledge of other parents that they do not have qualified teachers to teach them. And well, that was a turning point into their story. What Whitehead Jr. can do right now to save their brand image, to actually stick to the promise that they are doing. The promise is to actually educate, the young kids to do coding so that they can be more empowered once they grow and they can actually be well prepared for the kind of competition that goes ahead into the future when they'll be into the next what do you call in the next generation of business people or in the next generation of professionals. What their promise is this, that they want people to be, they want those kids to be real good coders, and they can actually do this right now by changing their coach staff, their teachers, and proving to people that they actually can teach. The teachers are legit. The teachers have a good, they have a good process of recruiting those teachers, and they can show all of this, the whole process, through a video or through an advertisement or through you know, showing their wins. So basically, all of these are the things that they should be working on to improve their brand in people's heads. Now, say if Mr. Punia keeps talking about the wrong things about White Hat JR, it's obviously going to hit their brand reputation. But there will be a lot of parents who wouldn't want to just go by what Mr. Punia is saying. So, what they would want to see is what the brand is putting their efforts onto to change the kind of brand recall or the brand image that they already have now. Once they have planned to change that, they can do campaigns of marketing wherein they actually show the whole process of how we are recruiting the right people and how we are making sure that we stick to our promise. I hope this was good, or more like satisfactory for anyone who asked the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moving on, here is the question. The logo that you see on the screen, who is the person that you could relate this logo to?
Right, ma'am. We have people spamming the chat section with Steve Jobs. So
Okay. So here's Steve Jobs for all of you guys. Well, why is it so? Why do we recall a person from a logo? I'll tell you why. Because this person has spent or has told his stories in and around his company Apple. He did not just position himself as an entrepreneur कि ये मेरी company है, ये मेरी company है, हर जगह तुम ये बोलते रहो कि I'm the founder. No, you kind of go around it saying that I am a visionary. I want to bring about this change in the world, and I want people to use this product that can improve their lives in XYZ way. And this is the value that I am going to provide to people. This is the value through which they are going to remember me. This is the product that will change the world and will give them a status quo that no one else has given them. So, if that was not a huge change that he brought in the world by providing so much value to people, I think this brand is this is why the Apple brand is still connected to Steve Jobs and not to Steve Wozniak. Well, there's just a funny slide I wanted to add that his name is also Steve, but no one takes his name, and it was always Steve Jobs, right? Okay. Moving on a serious note, the stories people tell about you is their version of how you helped them, and that is what they keep remembering about you and making that your personal brand. आज अगर आपने अपने friend को, okay, your friend is actually going through some bad time, but you sat with that friend, you gave them time, you heard them out, you helped them, you gave them a solution, maybe, or you just did not give them a solution, but you actually just heard them out. They are going to remember you as this kind person who gave them time and who gave them support and emotional support, and that was valued the most for them at that point, at that moment. And they are never going to forget you. the they will always have this brand of you in their head that you are a kind person and you are a nice person. And they ever fall into that if they ever fall into that situation again, or even a worse situation, you are always going to uh, you know help them out through that situation or through that challenge. So, but your brand into that person's head is not really just your personal brand. So your personal brand into that person's head or your friend's head is more like the only person thinking of you as a kind person. You may have done something wrong to someone who thinks of you otherwise, right? So it's up to other people as to what stories they tell about you, to everyone else around them, and that builds your brand more and more. So, if you want your brand to be more like, say, I am a kind person, then you have to keep spreading kindness as much as you can without asking anything for return. And then you see how the word spreads, because those people are going to tell stories about you to the people they know. Once the story spreads that way, everyone comes to know that you are a kind person and you can help them, right? So this is very important for you to remember. Keep doing something that you want your brand to be like. Make stories, tell stories, and make sure that people tell stories about you, because you have done something for them. You have given them value. Okay, so we'll take a pause over here. If you guys have any questions on personal branding, on branding as such, or storytelling, I would be open to take anything right now, because then we'll be moving on LinkedIn growth.
Okay, ma'am, we have Satya Ram asking, how can I develop a brand on a small budget?
Okay. Do you want to build a personal brand, or do you want to build a business brand, or how is it? But anyway, building a brand, as I always say, it's about a promise that you make and the promise that you keep, right? It is not about the budget. Today you can spend 0 rupees making a brand. Just spend a zero. You do not need anything. I'll tell you how. Try to find what is the one promise that you want to put out to people. Say today it's been like 2 months that I have been putting one video every day on Instagram around mental health awareness. And that is not my brand right now. It is not, because right now my brand is more of an entrepreneur. But maybe I want to change my brand to someone who speaks about women empowerment, someone who talks about mental health awareness, because I believe that those are some of the um, changes that I want to bring in the world. And these are the changes that are close to me, right? These are close to my heart. So what I would do is I would go around and publish one piece of content every day on any of the platforms which I feel is more relevant to the kind of content I'm making, to the genre of the content that I'm making. So I feel Instagram is one thing that helps me grow through for my mental health awareness. So what I do is I put content continuously out there. People relate to my content because they get value out of it. People remember me for my content because they like it and they share it. The more the people share the content, the more people are getting aware about your brand. Now there are at least 1,000 people, maybe in the last a month or so, who have actually acknowledged that speaking out about mental health awareness is great, and those people are remembering me as someone who continuously speaks about the same topic for like for every day, and trying to bring that awareness. So this is how actually a tribe is getting built around me, of the people who believe in the same kind of things. And once you do that, you always know that there will be people who will be backing you for the things that you do. And that is why will they back you? Because they trust you, and they trust you because you already have a brand. So here you have already built a brand without even spending a dime.
Right. That was really great, ma'am. So, ma'am, we have one more question coming in from Himanshu.
Mm-hmm.
So that says, how do I maintain a fine balance between I don't care what other people think about me and I need to take constructive criticism as well?
Oh, this is a good question. Um, well, coming from my personal experiences again, um, there was a time where I wouldn't take any criticism, because I was like, I really don't care what people think about me, because I'm on the path of of self-discovery. I'm going to do XYZ things, and I really don't, I might find my own path myself. But then I realized that there are some people that I respect a lot. There are some people who I look up to. There are some people who motivate me, and there are some people who, push me towards my goals, towards my dreams, I mean, like fulfilling my dreams. Those were the people who I would listen to, who I would respect. And if they say something to me, I would actually put that into action. So what happened here was basically I found my tribe. I found the kind of people I align with because the other people did not align with me and I did not really care as to what they said or what they thought because I believed that they do not understand me. So having that kind of a tribe of even two people, three people, four people around you who you really, really admire a lot, who you really think they are worth your time, who you think they will always give you an honest opinion and they are a well wishers, they will never want anything bad for you, for anything bad to happen for you, then those are the people you will always trust with whatever they say, right? And once you have those kind of people, mostly they are parents, but at many places there is these are not the parents, these people are not the parents, but these are the mentors or these are the best friends who will tell you, look, I want the best for you and I know you're going on a wrong path. You might come back to me crying, so do not go there. Just listen to me once and you will listen to them because you trust them.
For sure, ma'am, for sure. Okay, ma'am, we have one more question coming in. Actually,
Yep.
we haven't spammed by questions. So, okay, so Aries asked, if I've built a brand, it can be either business or personal. How do I introduce changes in the brand without losing much of the base that I have built?
Okay. So, well, again, if you're thinking of the changes in the brand, it cannot be the change in the brand promise because a promise once made cannot be broken. But if you want to change the logo, yeah, go ahead, do it. If you want to change the colors of your brand, go ahead, do it. If you want to change the kind of tone of your brand, the kind of brand voice you have, go ahead, change it. If you want to change the content pieces that go out on your social media for your brand, go ahead, change it. No one gives a damn about what your colors look like, right? But they always care about what promise you made and did you stick to that promise or not. Say there's this friend of mine who runs a cupcake business. It's a very small business. I won't say they do it from the vicinity of their own home kitchen, right? It's a very small cupcake business. So what they did basically was the founder, she's my friend, she um, you know went through a lot of life crisis in her life and she understood that life is going to be bitter, but her cupcakes are always going to be sweet so that they can balance your life. Basically, her brand promise is whenever you feel low, whenever you feel that you're going through any life crisis, come to this cupcake store and get your cupcake to feel the balance in your life, to feel nice, to feel good. I'm sure there are many times when you eat a cake and you feel nice because that gives you the glucose into your body. That is more scientific to it. But when it is told in a story that I went through so much bad in my life and I'm still waking up every day and making this business go around so well. The story that she says is that every one of us has all of these bitter things going on in our lives. But, okay, one second. Everyone has all of these bitter things going on in our lives, but we do not need to stop, for any of those. We actually can just move ahead in life and show people that we got the power.
Totally. Okay, so ma'am, I guess we can take one more question before we proceed with LinkedIn growth.
Sure.
Okay, ma'am. So Aryan asks, being an 18-year-old, how should I start the process of how should I go about the process of building a brand for myself?
Okay, I think we'll be covering this in the coming slides.
Sure. All right, ma'am.
Okay, great. So coming to the LinkedIn growth, I'm sure you all of you are, focused on LinkedIn because that's a professional platform where you can actually get people to recognize your talent, to recognize where you come from, what studies you have done, and to big and to more like open the doors to opportunities, not just in one country but across the globe. And that's a great, great platform. I personally believe that. So, starting with what your um, what your look should be on LinkedIn. This is a very brief, a little thing about it. I'm sure you guys all know to have a good photo and a headline and a bio, that your visual identity. But do people actually recall you from your photo? No, because today in this world where we meet so many people online or offline, we kind of tend to forget the faces. We kind of tend to not remember faces, but we always remember stories. So even if today, going back from this webinar, you may not remember my face, but you will always remember that there was this one question that I asked, and this was the answer that I got for it. So always have your story on point. So how do you so as I said, we'll be answering this question as to how do you start building your brand. Here is the one thing. Always, always, always tell stories, but make them focused on your audience. Okay, how is it going to help your audience? What is the kind of value you are going to give to them today? If this session was about personal branding, but I only keep talking about, say, motivation, and I give you motivational stories about me, and I do not give you any value on personal branding or on LinkedIn growth, how is it going to be even valuable for you? So for me to address you guys, it is very important for me to understand as to who my audience is, what are the kind of challenges they are facing, and to change my content, or to tailor my content into a way that it is helpful for my audience, right? For you guys, basically. If this was the same presentation I was to give at some corporate, I have to change my tone, I have to change my content, I have to change it and tailor it for them according to their challenges and giving them solutions for their problems. But here we're talking about you guys, so it is very important that I keep in mind that you are my audience and you won't listen to me, for I am the one talking, but you will listen to me if it gives you value, right? So अगर आपने आज भी content बनाना start किया है on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on any of the platforms, if you have started making content, well, this is one thing I want to tell you. Keep in mind, people do not listen to you for you are talking, because there are a million other people who are talking on social media channels. What will make you stand out from all of those people? It is the kind of value you provide to the kind of audience you have. Okay. Next is again storytelling. I won't get back into you know the thing about storytelling because yeah, and because we have already covered that. Utilizing content, through creating quality content, you build trust among people and show them that you're what you're capable of. You keep talking about one thing for the next 1 year on any of the social media platforms. I can write it and give it to you in a guarantee that people will recognize you for the kind of content that you are spreading, because it is going to change at least someone's life, right? If I have started talking about mental health awareness, there are people who are reaching out to me and saying, hey, this is great that you're talking about mental health awareness, because people think it's a taboo and people do not openly talk about it. But it's great, and keep doing this. If you do the same thing, what I am doing today, I think I'm late. Even you guys, I think this is the time that you guys should jump onto, say, Instagram Reels, or say LinkedIn content, make videos, create content, create any. If you're not very okay with creating video content because you're camera conscious or anything like that, go ahead, write a blog, write a post, or write or make an image. If you are good at designing, if you're good at something, just try and use that resource to tell stories and to give value to people, right? So make sure you always, always, always do this, and this is the time for you to start. This is like the actual right time for you to start, and do it consistently, because I've done it only for 60 days so far and I've seen incredible results. And I can say it with so much of confidence that it changes lives. In fact, I'll tell you why I started making videos in the very first place. So back in August, I started making my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel, which is on personal branding. If you guys can just go and check it, it would be really nice. It's called Anita's Mic, with a Z in the place of S. So that's I did only 4 YouTube videos on it, and I felt it was, not an easy thing for me. It was not my comfort zone, and I just felt like every time I do a video, I actually go out of my comfort zone, and it is not helping me stay calm, giving me, a lot of anxiety. Oh, I am camera conscious, I cannot do this. This was the whole thing. And after 4 videos, I kind of said, no, I cannot do this. I cannot do it because I'm not giving my 100%. And until I'm not giving my 100%, people are not going to listen. This was back in this August, okay, after the lockdown. What I did was I took up this challenge onto myself कि okay, मेरा problem है that I am camera conscious. I cannot stand in front of the camera, talk so confidently. Then this is a challenge. So I took it up to myself saying, I am going to face the camera every single day without fail. And I am going to remove this fear of camera in a few months, and I'm not going to stop until I actually have overcome my challenge, overcome my fear. So this was the first ever video that I made on Instagram, telling people that I never come on video, but from today onwards, you're going to see me every day. I might be fumbling, I might be not that great on camera, I might not as well look in the eye, but I won't leave making videos. I'm going to face my fear in the eye. I'm going to look it in the eye and I'm going to face it. And I did it. On the 60th day, I kind of realized, hey, this is so simple. This is so easy. I can actually now create beautiful videos. I can actually be very impromptu. अगर मुझे पहले एक वीडियो बनाने में, एक 30 सेकेंड का वीडियो बनाने में अगर मुझे आधा घंटा लगता था, now it only takes me like a minute. It takes me 2 takes or 3 takes max, even like 2 takes max now, to make that 130-second video, and it has improved bounds and it has helped people, and I cannot be happier for taking up a challenge upon myself. If I am fearful of something, I am going to face it, and so are you. So always, always do this. If you are fearful of something, write down that fear, write down a deadline to it, because fear has to end. Fear cannot overpower you. It can never do that. So write a deadline to it. Write कि ये मेरा fear है. I am going to overcome this fear by this date, and just do it. Do the things that make you, overcome it. Okay, moving on. The fourth point is to get yourself found. Again, as I said, if you're not going online, if you're not creating content, you're not going to be found. But if you want to get found, kind of try to find the people who are on the same kind of mission, who are on the same journey, say 3 of your friends listening here today, you all feel कि यार हाँ हम सबको ही कैमरा का कॉन्शियस है या हम सबको ही डर लगता है कि वीडियो कंटेंट नहीं बना पाएंगे, लेकिन वीडियो कंटेंट अभी चल रहा है क्योंकि LinkedIn is promoting video content. If you even put one video on LinkedIn, it is going to be organically reaching thousands of people without even they being on your connection list. So ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है. हमारा वीडियो ऑलरेडी ऐसे ही बूस्ट हो रहा है, बट हमको तो कैमरा के सामने खड़े रहने में ही डर लग रहा है, हम नहीं कर पाएंगे. What you do is all 3 of you or 2 of you or your friends or whoever you are, bring them together. Do it as a together wala project. Do it, take it up as a project. Just take it up कि हाँ, we are going to do this by the end of this semester. ये हम लोग अचीव कर लेंगे. Apart from all the things that go on into your studies, into your college, with your extracurricular activities, these are the things which will help you go a long way, because these are the things which help you develop your character on a professional and a personal level, because that is a person you are going to remember. You're always going to remember, look, you know what, I had this fear. You're going to tell people this story about you. I had this fear, and then I overcame this fear because I heard someone's story overcoming their fear. And today I am this kind of a person. Then you are going to be on some webinar telling people how did you overcome your fears. So we all are built of stories, and someday you will be telling your story. So if you want to tell your story, make sure you work on your story. You work towards making it a story. Okay? Moving on. How and where to start? This was, I think, one of the questions that we got. Okay. So again, as I said, find tribes, find friends, find people who are on the same journey like you, who have the same goals, who are facing the same challenges, who have the similar ideas or the same beliefs. चलो किसी कुछ friends का ही बात होता रहता है, ठीक है. Someone is like, hey, I like the iPhone because it gives me that status quo. पता है तुम्हें ये इसकी story है पीछे की and this that, and then there is this one person who says नहीं नहीं, Android phones are better because the camera is very nice and their battery is very nice, this that. And they really keep on discussing on things because they are both अलग अलग टाइप पार्टी के लोग हैं. एक बीजेपी वाला पार्टी हो गया, एक दूसरा पार्टी हो गया, इस टाइप से पार्टी वाले लोग हो जाते हैं. ठीक है. तो ये होता है कि ट्राइब्स जब हम ढूंढने जाते हैं, वी हैव टू फाइंड लाइक माइंडेड पीपल. दैट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स स्टार्टिंग एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट टू स्टार्ट. कुछ भी बनना है, सबसे पहले अपना ट्राइब फाइंड करो. कुछ लोगों को पेट्स पसंद है, तो गो find groups on Facebook of people who love pets or who go for events which involve pets. Or you love to travel, you love to go hiking on mountains, and then you go find those kind of people who you would want to go with, or who would have already been there and would give you some tips कि वहाँ पे कैसे जाना है, क्या करना है, क्या क्या लेके जाओ, right? So all of these people are going to help you grow in your journey of wherever you want to reach. Be it whatever, you can have multiple tribes at a time. These are communities, right? So you need to have that kind of a community where you grow on a daily basis, where you grow and you learn from people's experiences, where you share your ideas freely, openly, without any judgment, and you are determined that this is my goal. इसको कैसे भी करके पहुंचना ही है. तो वो सब लोग साथ में मिलके आपको हेल्प करते हैं to reach wherever you wish to reach. Also, don't forget to have some fun on the way. So we'll take a pause over here so that we can have some fun. Tell me, Aryan, do we have anything that coming from the audience?
Just a second, ma'am. I'll do that. Okay, ma'am. So we have questions coming in right now. I guess we can take them later in the Q&A session.
Sure.
And now we can walk them through some of your LinkedIn posts so that they get a better idea of how and what are you trying to tell.
Lovely. I would love to do that. Yeah. I think I have a few posts open over here. Let's see. My screen is visible to you, right?
No, ma'am.
Is it?
Not on
No.
the screen. No.
Oh, okay. Mm, is it now? Can you see a
Yes,
LinkedIn post?
yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Oh, okay. So here's a New Year post, I guess. It's almost a year to that post. Almost a year because I think I wrote it on 1st of January. Not very sure when I wrote it. But anyway, here's a little way of me writing my LinkedIn posts. So it's a very fun kind of content that I put in. Always fun because I kind of like to make it fun. So here's it 2010. In 10th standard, I hated board exams pressure. Well, in 2011, life was chill, but PCM wasn't. Sorry.
Ma'am, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but would you be able to zoom in on the post a little? I don't think it will be visible to
Oh,
everyone.
okay.
Perfect.
Just let me know if it's fine now. Is it visible properly now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I mostly my brand voice on my LinkedIn posts is more like fun stuff. I do not write any very serious stuff because I like to be myself, and I as a person I am real fun to be with. So when people read about me, they understand that this is the kind of person I am. So in 2010, 10 standard, hated board exams pressure. 2011, life was chill, but PCM wasn't. 2012, life wasn't chill because PCM wasn't. 2013, radio shows at All India Radio and PCM playing tug of war with me. Well, I was a radio jockey at All India Radio back in my first year of college. Second year, first year, yeah. First year of college. 2014 interviewed 350 people from 28 countries, and a book launch made me a pressure cooker of grades, attendance, career, dreams, and more. 2015 graduated, hell yes. Made two national records, moved cities or states, I must say, and got a job. 2016, before I could become a corporate bug, my first ever job was in Mukunda Foods. That's where I've written that his CEO got me bit by an entrepreneurship bug, and Wings to Wheels became my first brainchild. 2017, my wings were flying high, but Modi ji wanted to be adventurous too. Demonetization hit my wings because Wings to Wheels is a I would say premium selling service venture for CEOs. And when the demonetization hit, all the businesses that were selling premium things were actually hit really bad. That was one thing that got into it. क्योंकि अच्छे दिन आना बाकी हैं मेरे दोस्त. 2014, waiting for Achhe Din to arrive in India. Until then, let's work for a Chinese company. After all, पड़ोसी ही पड़ोसी के काम आते हैं. That's when I got a job in Viva Video, which is a Chinese app, which I think got banned this year. And 2019, when everyone was singing Apna Time Aayega, I was on Apna Time Aa Gaya, along with making other founders, CEOs, CMOs feel Unka Time Aa Gaya with Spaceman. And while I handle the storytelling part, second most important, there's Ganesh who handles the T and team part, which is the most important. I think this post got around 20,500 something views, and kind of was a nice post. I was checking this out before this presentation, and I kind of went to this whole memory lane, which gave me a good thinking about, okay, let's see which one we have over here. Is it zoomed enough for you guys to see? Is this better? Just let me know if you want me to zoom more.
No, ma'am, it's visible.
Oh, okay. So there was this another storytelling part which I did. And here, one of the interns that I had, one of the students that I had back in last year, I guess. So she was looking for a internship, and this was a post for me trying to get her an internship. I said like, "Dona कि हाँ, someone I know is looking for an internship." No one would actually respond to your LinkedIn post. लेकिन उसके पीछे अगर पूरा स्टोरी डाल दो ना कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, क्यों हुआ, तो लोगों को मजा आता है. तो उनको मजे दिलवाने, बेसिकली आपको मजा दिलवाना है लोगों को, ठीक है. सो हियर्स द पोस्ट, 7 a.m. on the terrace. That's how it started. I think that was a lovely entry of the post, because everyone would be like, ये कहाँ से start हो रहा है, 7 a.m. on the terrace, क्या हो रहा था, what is that happening on the terrace at 7 a.m. and what started at that point. So that's the story of me teaching my landlord's daughter digital marketing. So my landlord's daughter wanted to learn digital marketing from me while I had no time other than mornings. 2 months, 5 days a week, we sat on terrace from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. having great discussions on various marketing campaigns and ideas. It went on. She got her certificates and, as promised by me, an internship too. Today, I teach more students online, and one of them is looking for a remote internship in digital marketing. If you're looking to hire someone, do get in touch with me. I think this post also got around 18,000 views, and I think it has been uh, a great yeah. I've also got good responses. If you can see, people were actually about. I think she got the job the very same day, and it worked wonders. The way storytelling has worked wonders for me, I cannot even. Um, do you want me to go ahead with the presentation, or do you want to see one more?
I guess we can go with one more case study, sort of.
Okay. Let me see. I would try to get something else for you guys.
Sure, ma'am.
Something which is more valuable and something that I would have posted recently. Let me see. Okay, let me give you this one. I think this is a good one. Okay, so if you remember, or if any one of you have tried LinkedIn in the last 6 or 8 months, you would have seen that most of the times you would see people posting about them trending on some hashtag on LinkedIn, because that was a thing from the LinkedIn team, that they were trying to promote more and more content to people on a daily basis, so that people can feel motivated to put more and more content on LinkedIn. So here was the thing. Hell yes, I am trending on LinkedIn. How many times have you heard this? A lot. Because I was hearing it almost every day from 5 or 6 people. And every now and then we see posts going trending on LinkedIn, whether it gets a great engagement or not. But have you heard my post is in top 9 area on Instagram? I'm sure your answer is not much, because getting on top 9 on trending on Instagram hashtags isn't easy as getting a post trending on LinkedIn. So here's how you get your post trending on Instagram. And yes, that works. You can try it if that works for you. And yeah, I've asked people to DM me if that worked for them. Well, it did. So here's a little thing for Instagram, which I had learned how to trend your post on Instagram. The answer is hashtags. Of course, you knew that. But what you don't know is in order to trend, hashtags become dependent on the valuable content, on the time to post, on engagement in the first hour, on your choice of hashtags, and on call to action. And here's a case study of me doing the same. If you go to my Instagram today, you will see this post where I have actually just posted one simple picture and then I have told about my new website launch, which is anitatejwani.com. And I've told people that I've always been very shy of the camera, but when I am in the business of building personal brands and making people known into their niche, I figured it's an essential thing for me to have an online presence too. And not just an ordinary one, but a strong personal brand. So here's another effort to the same cause. By the way, I just launched my new website. Check it out. So yeah, I just asked people to check my website, and I tried to post it on the time where I saw that there was most engagement, or my most followers are actually active in those hours, in those days. So it is very important you check your insights when your followers are most active, in what hours and on what days, so that your post can actually get the virality that it needs in the very first hour. And it's very important for you to get that in the very first hour. I'll tell you why. So this was the kind of engagement we got. It reached to around 1700 something people. Well, I had only, I think, 1100 followers back then, and it was reaching out to 700 more people from that. And let's move to this. Yeah. So these were the accounts. 75% were not following me at that point. So that is a great thing. If people are not following you and they are still seeing your post, it is a great thing. And from the hashtags, this was the reach. So if you see, most of the reach that came was from the hashtag, and it was very less from the feed, that from the homepage of other people. From location was this much, and from other it was this much. And I got 9 new followers after posting this post, which was again good, I would say. And the hashtags that I used was I won't show you the hashtags, but I'll show you the way it was done. So I made sure that I use a mix of small, medium, and large and macro hashtags. And you can always see the number of the number of followers those hashtags have. So you can use the 15 10 5 rule, which is 15 small hashtags, 10 medium hashtags, and 5 large hashtags to post on your Instagram. And here's the result. So here's my post trending on the top 9 posts on personal brand, which has a 332k posts already on that hashtag. There are 1 million posts on personal branding, and still my post was here on the top 9, and it stayed there for 24 hours, which is a great thing, because here you can only reach after your post has got great engagement in the first hour. So that is very important for you to have. And yeah, that's it. I think this post as well got some good 17,000 views, and it was a good one. Okay, so Aryan, can we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am. I guess we can proceed with the PPT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions, or are we keeping it for the end?
Ma'am, we can keep it for the Q&A session.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Moving on. So we all have something on our minds that we want to change, right? Because back in the posts, if you saw, I wanted to always bring about a change. In one post, I was looking for a change to happen for this one student of mine who was looking for an internship to get an internship, right? That's a change of status from no internship to internship. Then there was this change of trending on LinkedIn, from trending on LinkedIn to trending on Instagram. That's a change of status again. Change of anything from you moving from the college out of the college and getting a job is also a change. We all are looking for change in our lives. Unknowingly, we are people who are like नहीं हमको change चाहिए नहीं, we don't want change. लेकिन change is the only thing that is constant and we always thrive for change, वरना हम लोग बोर हो जाते हैं लाइफ में से, ठीक है? So we always want change, and that is one thing that should be the core part of any of the communications that you have, be it on video, be it on visuals, be it on your video or any kind of your blogs or anything, wherever you're trying to communicate anything through any kind of content, through or even your LinkedIn post, your your whole idea should be around the change that you wish to bring, and then you have to make sure that you're either engaging people or you're explaining them as to why, or you're enlightening them with some insights, which is again giving value, right? So your change is this way that you'll be bringing some change in the world. It's not like you bringing change in the world on a larger scale, but you're bringing a change in your status, right? So let's talk about change, because um, I'll tell you how what are we actually going towards. Who are change makers? Can anyone tell me any examples of anyone they feel are change makers, or you've heard of change makers, or if you know of anyone personally, just tell me any names that you feel are change makers. Arun, do we have any answers?
Yes, ma'am. Just a second, ma'am. I'm going through them. Okay, ma'am. So we have answers coming in. So someone says Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Kunal Shah, Emma Watson.
Great. That's really nice. Those are nice answers. Let's move forward. These are the change makers of yesterday. We all know that they made a change, right? अगर आपको ये लगता है कि आपको अपनी लाइफ में कुछ चेंज लाना है, या फिर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि यार आई वांट पीपल टू टॉक मोर ओपनली अबाउट देयर मेंटल हेल्थ, or they should be more openly talking about what is disturbing them, how am I going to even bring that change? And people are going to ask me, आपके पास कोई सर्टिफिकेट है क्या कि आप मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में बात कर रहे हो? आप कोई साइकोलॉजिस्ट हो क्या? आप डॉक्टर हो क्या? आपने पढ़ाई की है इसके बारे में? आपको कोई एक्सपीरियंस है क्या? You all would face these questions when you go on a path of changing anything, from taking an from having no internship to going to a place where you are getting an internship. People are going to ask you, why should I give you this internship in the first place? Well, the answer is Gandhiji had never fought a freedom fight. He had never had it before he actually went in and did it, right? Nelson Mandela, the kind of change he brought to the society, he had never done that before. Mother Teresa, the kind of change she brought in with her service, she had never done it before. All these change makers, इनको कोई नहीं पूछता आपके पास सर्टिफिकेट है क्या, आप फ्रीडम फाइट करने जा रहे हो, आपके पास है क्या कुछ एक्सपीरियंस? No one is going to ask them. Why? Because if you're going to promise something, I am going to bring you freedom, or I am going to make sure that this happens, I am going to make sure you get an internship. If I am making a promise, people are going to follow me. They are not going to ask me, अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं, तो अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं कि नहीं आने वाले हैं, कोई नहीं पूछेगा. क्यों? They'll just go and vote because they have the power. They have that power of trusting you. They have the power of making that change happen for you. And if you are a change maker and if you are asked कि आपके पास कोई experience है क्या ये करने का, just go ahead, give them an example of any of these people who made a change, who were the first ones to do something like that without having any experience before, without having any story heard or told about it before, right? Those are the people who are change makers, who are leaders, who are influencers. These are the people who influence people's minds, they influence people's actions, and they influence their whole thinking. And if Gandhiji said, Chalo Dandi March pe chal, then how many people actually followed him on that Dandi March? He was an influencer. He influenced so many people to come follow him. Not just the following on social media is what I'm talking about. Follow them for the idea, follow them for the change that they are going to bring. And if you are onto the path of bringing any change, be it in your life, be it in your friends' life, be it in your family's life, be it in anyone's lives, make sure that you are promising them something. And if they ask you, will you be able to fulfill that promise? Well, just say that we are on this journey of discovering how this turns out. Because Modi ji still doesn't know if अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं या नहीं आने वाले हैं, but he had promised अच्छे दिन आएंगे, and people actually went ahead, followed him, right? And Gandhi ji said हम freedom लाएंगे, चलो दांडी मार्च पे चलते हैं, and people followed. Sometimes you may succeed, sometimes you may not, sometimes you may impact people's lives in a bigger way, sometimes you may impact people's life in a smaller way. But let me tell you one thing, if you think you are a change maker, just go ahead, do things to bring that change, do things to influence people to come on your tribe, to join your tribe, and do the same things together. Together is what we achieve things, right? Here are the change makers of today. If you Kunal Shah, I think someone already said. Malala is another one. And who would tell me who is this first person in the picture? Anyone?
No, ma'am, we are waiting on answers.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so RN Sinha says she's Jacinda Ardern.
Yeah, right. She is Jacinda Ardern, and she is the president of, she's a prime minister of New Zealand, and she was the one who fought for the whole of New Zealand when it was the first ever country to become COVID free. It was her leadership that actually helped people get out of a crisis that's a whole pandemic. You know, the whole world is going through a crisis, but she is the one leader, she is the change maker, she is the strong woman who actually brought that change which no one, not any other politician of any other country could bring. Not Modi ji, not Trump, no one, but she could do it. And she did it the very first. Like she did it when the whole world was actually still facing it. So these are the change makers of today. Who are the change makers of tomorrow? It's us. It's us, all of us. We are the change makers of tomorrow. If we think big, we can make bigger changes in the world. If we think for ourselves, we can bring change for ourselves. If we want to bring change for our family, I'm sure there are many people who come from background like mine, where our families have loans on them, our families have, we have our education loans on ourselves, we have a lot of things to deal with. We want to bring that change in our life, that we want to be debt free by say this time. Then we have some other change that we want to travel the world by this time. We have all of these change statuses onto ourselves, and we are the change makers of tomorrow. So if you want to bring about a change, make sure you have people around you who are your tribe, and make sure you are, you know, focused on your goals, focused on the change you want to bring. And if you can try to think bigger, try to think how you can bring a change up in the world. How did Kunal Shah think he's going to change the whole fintech industry of India by making payments easier? Or right now with cred, he's making your credit card payments easier to pay. So, how are you going to make those changes in the world? How are you going to bring those changes in the world? So, hence, there are no photos over here, because the change makers of tomorrow is us people. Say, if today I am on this journey of bringing about awareness around, you know, mental health, I am going to be someday an influencer in the same domain where I can demand the position that I hold and change people's actions, change people's influence their buying decisions, influence their behavior when they are into something that's hurting them, something that's traumatic for them. I want people to change their behavior so that they can come out of their mental um, you know, stress or whatever it is. And for them to come out of it, they need to build a change in their behavior. And I am making sure that they do by influencing them with my personal stories, by influencing them with my content, by making sure my content is for them, right? So if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can also do it. And it's going to be fun. Make sure you have some fun during all of whatever you do. Whatever you're doing currently, try to have some fun. Try to not take life so seriously, because you may not know, 5 साल बाद तो you won't even recognize कि ये छोटी छोटी problems आ रही थी, right? After 5 years, there will be bigger problems. And still, take life simple, take life really easy, because you know things will be up and down, things will be a lot messy, but the only thing that will be constant is that it will keep changing and it will become better. So yeah, I think that's where. Oh, we have one more slide, I think. Have you seen the power of their influence? Yeah, of course, we all have seen that. And yeah, I think we'll end it over here with a few clients that, we work with under our company. And that's it. This is the last slide.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am. It was really valuable. Um, I guess we can start with the Q&A then.
Yeah,
I guess we can proceed with the Q&A session.
sure.
Okay. Just Okay, so good evening, everyone. Hello, I am Aryan Sinha and I am your today's host for the Q&A session. Well, I'm pretty sure of the fact that you people had an incredible session with our speaker, Miss Anita Tejwani, and I'm also pretty sure of the fact that, and I'm also pretty sure of the fact that your mind is bugging you with some questions. Well, just to help you guys out with it, we already had planned this Q&A session in advance. So before we proceed with the Q&A session, I would like to walk you through how this entire session would look like. So you people can put in all your doubts and queries down below in the live chat, and I'll read it to ma'am, and I guess she'll be more than happy to clear them. So are you ready, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds great. So let's just start this thing. Okay, ma'am. So we have a question coming in from Mimansa.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who wants to begin his journey as an influencer
Mm-hmm.
in this growing world of fake news and the recent New York Times expose regarding people buying fake followers to appear more influential, it can sometimes be difficult to know if the people will believe you or not, and will they trust you enough for helping them with the brand. In such a case, what would be your advice for a beginner like me?
Okay. So I'll tell you, when we work with brands, we kind of find them the right influencers. It's our job as an agency to find the right influencers for the brand. But when the brand says that we are looking for X number of followers for our campaign, we do not take those campaigns at all. We clearly tell them that we are not going to give you people with X number of following, because that those followers may be bots, they may be fake. We are going to give you actual people who can influence their friends, their family, their followers, or whoever they are. Even if they have 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, they are influencers according to us, because they can actually influence people's decisions, because they are trusted into those small communities of 1,000 people. And it is very important for a brand to understand that it's okay to work with smaller influencers, because they can bring you more and more engagement than the kind of bigger influencers that they go for with, say, 1 million followers, because they do not bring you those kind of results. And I'll tell you, Redbus, Paytm, and one more brand that we worked with was Crystal. Am I audible because of the dogs barking outside? I
Yes,
think it's
ma'am.
a
You are.
little. Okay. So I think these are three brands that we said upfront कि हम आपको ऐसे लोग देने वाले हैं जो actually influence करेंगे, but they won't have a huge number of fan following on their number of followers. And they went for it. They saw the results. And after that day, they have not gone to any other agency to work with, because they want to stick to us, because we promised them that we'll give you the right influencers. So if you think that having a huge fan following doesn't make you an influencer, well, you are wrong. Even if you have 500 people who you can influence their actions, that is a real influencer. ऐसा number of followers तो तुम किसी को भी दे दो यार, कुत्ते का पेज के भी, डॉगी के पेज के भी 1 million follower. That doggy is not telling you to do anything. That doggy is not influencing your decisions. That dog is not doing anything. So that dog is not an influencer. You are an influencer even if you have 200 followers who listen to you, who interact with you every day, who are your tribe. So you are an influencer with that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we are being spammed with questions right now. And okay, so we have Rohan Ramani asking, ma'am, according to you, which mobile phone company has the best marketing strategy in the market?
Marketing strategy. Well, if a marketing strategy makes you buy that phone, whichever phone you are using, if they got you to buy it with their marketing, I think that is the best marketing. For everyone, it's different. And if I only see it as a branding person from the outside, I would say iPhone does a lot of good marketing. Their marketing is
Yep.
quite good. But I would say OnePlus stands up to their promise a lot more than the kind of branding they do. So the brand in my head, if I were to talk about the promise, the brand promise that they put out and they stick to the brand promise, I would say OnePlus is leading. But again, iPhone does a lot of marketing in the more creative way that they come up with.
All right. Okay, so we have a question coming in from Avinash. It's on word of mouth.
Okay.
What are your views on word of mouth? Is it really helpful?
It is the only thing that is going to be helpful in the coming times. I'll tell you why. अभी ना एड्स हो गया चीप एकदम. तुम फेसबुक पे सब 50 रुपए डाल के एड चला लो. हर कोई चलाएगा एड. Even Aryan can run the ad, even you guys can run the ad. Everyone will be running the ads because it's easy to buy media. It's simple and it's cheap. It's ना कोई भी तुम ad दिखा दो. But ad के ऊपर भरोसा कहाँ से आएगा? भरोसा तो आएगा नहीं क्योंकि अब सब लोग ऐड चला रहे हैं. 50-50 रुपए डाल के फेसबुक को 50 रुपए दे दो, ऐड दिखा देगा वो तुम्हारी, है ना. तो फिर तुम्हें बहुत ज्यादा मेक श्योर करना है दैट योर मार्केटिंग इज डन थ्रू वर्ड ऑफ माउथ वेयर पीपल ट्रस्ट पीपल. यू आर्यन ट्रस्ट मी, राइट? एंड इफ आई टेल आर्यन कि नहीं आर्यन ये फोन अच्छा है ये ले लो, या फिर ये सर्विस अच्छा है ये ले लो, ये कोच अच्छा है इसको ले लो, he will trust me, right? Even after seeing the ad, you may not convert for that person, you may not become that person's customer, but if your best friend tells you, hey ये तो अच्छा था मैंने use किया है, done, you're
Right.
safe, done. Word of mouth is going to be the next, I think the next most important thing, क्योंकि यहाँ पे influence आ जाता है. I am influencing my friends' decisions. Second, ads are cheap. So anyone can buy it and hence the credibility goes down. Jitna cheap, utna credibility down.
Right. Yeah, that's really helpful. So we have next question coming in from Khushi Patel. So, ma'am, she asked how to tell your whole story and still be comfortable about it while taking care of your privacy. A lot of people have the similar question. Like when people talk about personal branding, the very first thing that comes to people's mind is like, how can I tell my entire story and still be comfortable with it?
Okay. Let me think about it. So being authentic in your personal brand is the first step towards it. ठीक है, आप झूठ तो नहीं बोल सकते हो आप कि ये मेरे साथ ये हुआ है तो मैं ये कर रही हूँ. This is the way you attract people towards you. This is the way you get people to trust you as to ये तुम्हारे साथ हुआ है, then I am okay, I'm trusting you with it, that this is the reform that you want to bring. What would possibly you would want to hide is what I'm trying to understand. अगर मुझे ये थोड़ा context पता चल जाए कि what is it that you do not want to let people know about you, then I can tell you maybe how to hide it. What is it that you would want to hide? Because I generally do not feel that I hide anything. Even though I have failures, even though I have, these traits to me that are stubborn, that is not a good trait. It's not a good trait, but I still speak about it because I have accepted myself as who I am, and I think that gives me more peace. That brings more peace to myself. But if there is something very specific of your private life that you would not want to share, I would want to understand what kind of thing that would be, you know?
Right. Okay, ma'am. So we have one more question coming in. It's on your LinkedIn carousel post that you showed on Instagram trends. So we have Aryan Divedi coming in and asking, I have a very big doubt. Like with a person like me who's having 60 to 70 followers on Instagram, how should I go about making a mark on it? Like, will the same principles work for me?
Of course it will work for you, because I'll tell you, if you saw the carousel very clearly and properly, अगर आपको देखा, आपने देखा होगा कि होम पेज में से जो फॉलोअर्स ऑलरेडी हैं उसमें से सिर्फ 50 लोगों को रीच आया था. But if you saw the hashtag reach, it was around 1290 something, right? Which was more than the number of followers I had at that point. If you use the right hashtags, your post is going to get more and more visibility through that. And use it. Use it in a proper and the right way to reach out to more and more people. If you reach out to the right people, If you understand them right, if you understand your audience right, and if your content is giving them value, what are they going to do after seeing your post? Is they are coming to your profile, they are going to like your post, they are going to follow you. This is the way you grow on Instagram. Abhi 60-70 followers hain. If you keep posting good content, if you are making sure you're giving them value, followers बढ़ जाएंगे. तो follower बढ़ाने के लिए कोई बड़ी बात तो है नहीं.
Exactly. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so ma'am, this one more question coming in from Aryan Bhatnagar. So he asked, do you believe in all PR is good PR?
Oh, well, this is a very controversial question. Okay.
Right.
So we run a PR agency.
Yep.
Most of the times, all PR is not good PR. Okay. Some of the times we try to hide, our clients' crisis. We do crisis management for them, and we kind of try to build stories for PR which give them a better online reputation. It's not about the personal brand. क्यों personal brand में उनका ये हो गया कि उन्होंने एक promise बनाई थी, promise तोड़ दी. जैसे मिस्टर पूनिया के साथ व्हाइट हैट जेआर में हुआ, प्रॉमिस तो टूट गई कि हम लोग अच्छा टीचर्स डालेंगे, बट now they have to do PR. They have to actually save their image. It's all about online reputation now. It's not about branding now. Brand तो गया, ब्रांड खराब हो गया तुम्हारा, बट नाउ यू वांट टू डू पीआर टू सेव योर ऑनलाइन रेपुटेशन. तो वो लोग करेंगे कुछ ना कुछ. दैट इज नॉट रियल पीआर, बट या एज फार एज इट हेल्प्स people think otherwise of them, well, it helps them. Otherwise it doesn't. Most of the times अगर हमने किसी के ऊपर trust खो दिया, it doesn't really come back so quickly.
True.
Right?
Right. Okay, so we have one more question coming in from Shashi. So he asked, how do I go about crafting that perfect LinkedIn bio that get me views and that gets me visibility, right? That gets me visibility.
Now, I do not know what you really want to write on your LinkedIn bio, so I cannot be giving you a very to the point answer.
Right.
But I'll just advise you to keep it very short. Keep it into the terms which people search for, and it's easy to search you when they're looking for you, right? If you say, मैं growth marketer हूँ, then growth marketer, there are like many people who are growth marketers, and half the people do not even understand what growth marketing is. ठीक है? So you are like really messing up with your own career there. You cannot be doing that. So kind of try to make it very simple. Try to make it with the terms that people are searching for, so that when they are searching for those terms, they can actually find your profile and they can reach out to you. And make a proper use of all the character limits that you have over there. Make use of that.
Right. Okay. So, ma'am, we have one question coming in from Abhinash. He asks, ma'am, what's your opinion on having a stage name instead of using your real name in your future endeavors? If I don't want to use my name, actually, I think he wants to ask, like, is it fine to have a stage name? Like does that have any effect? Right. Like, does it have any effect on your brand? Like, a lot of musicians and artists have that, right? They have a stage name and then they have a real name.
Right. Well, it depends on you. If you want to keep it, keep it. Lady Gaga is the biggest example of that. Keep it. No one is telling you to not. But if someday you want to change it, it's going to be big for you, right? Like, it's going to be big deal for you. Then you'll be like, nahi, nahi, mera naam ye hai, mera naam wo nahi hai. You are contradicting your own thing. Do it. Keep it. If you feel like that is the thing, keep it. Because I think there was one time back in 2015, 2016, when I was writing poetry, and I was like, these poems are actually coming from a place of my personal experiences, of my personal relationships, which have gone really messy, and I am writing about them. And if people read about them and they judge me that, oh, I have had these messy relationships, they might, not like to read my poems. So I kind of thought, okay, at that point, I should have a pen name. I should write my name as something different, not Anita, because I do not want people to judge me for,
Right.
writing such bold poetry. And if I was afraid, but now I'm not. Like now I'll write my name in bold. I am this person writing this thing because now it's not going to change. And I've made peace with that. That even if people judge me for writing bold poetry, I'm okay with that. Right?
Right. Exactly. Very true. Okay, ma'am. So I guess we can take two more questions. So, okay, ma'am. So Pranjal asked, we talked about promoting online, but how do we grow offline? How to find right people to work with? How to get their trust?
Mm-hmm. How
Right.
to
So,
get trust? Okay. How do we get someone's trust? How do you get your best friend's trust? How do you make friends? As simple as that. You go around, you find people who are like minded, who believe the same things like you do, who are on the same journey. You make friends with them. You have this one best friend, right? Everyone has this one best friend. नहीं ये मेरे जैसा है, ये मेरे जैसा ही बात करता है, मेरे से align होता है, मेरे jokes पे हंसता है. This person backs me up whenever I need that support. Why is it that that offline one person who is your best friend aligns so much with you? Because you went to that person, you became yourself, you became the vulnerable yourself, you opened up to that
right.
person. That person trusted you trusted them with all your vulnerability, with all your secrets. You trusted them, you gave them something to trust you on, you gave them some value, you provided them support emotionally, financially, whatever, and that is how you made friends. So it's the same way you build friends offline that you build other connections offline. It's as simple as that.
Right. So, okay. So we are running out of time. So just one last question, ma'am. If you were to sum up your entire personal branding or influencer marketing journey in just 5 points, uh, how would you sum it up?
Oh, how are these 5 points like lessons, or are these 5 points like
Five
experiences or
lessons,
like?
ma'am. Like 5 lessons coming from whatever you have gone through
Oh,
in your
okay,
entire journey.
sure. Okay, so my first would be being authentic. Your authenticity starts from you accepting yourself with your flaws, all your flaws, right? Just accept yourself. This is me. And anyone who doesn't accept me as I am doesn't belong in my life. Just make sure that thing. ये थोड़ा फंडा बना लेना है लाइफ में कि अगर किसी को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मैं कि मैं how am I or what are my beliefs or what kind of person I am, try to stay away from those people because those people are not going to take you anywhere in life. Those people are not going to take you ahead in life. आगे पीछे
Right.
पीछे हो जाएगा बट आगे तो नहीं लेके जाएंगे. So make sure when you're on this path of growth, accept yourself with all your flaws. Find people who accept you with all your flaws. आराम simple सी जिंदगी जियो उसमें, ठीक है? The second thing that I've learned is this is more of emotional, I would say, when it comes to personal branding again. Initially, I would try to showcase myself that I'm an expert at this. I can give you value. I can, be this source of knowledge for you. And all of these things were like the major, you know, uh, parts of my speech or my content online. Stop doing that. Don't try to be a guru on anything. Don't try to show anything. अभी तुम किसी के गुरु बन जाते हो मतलब उनको
Very true.
तुम्हारे में से वैल्यू मिल रहा है और तो तुमको मान रहे हैं कि तुम गुरु हो हमारे तो इट मेक्स सेंस. लेकिन you telling people that I am a guru, it doesn't make sense. You just don't get into that कि नहीं मुझे सब पता है या मैं ही सिखाऊंगा या मुझसे बेटर कोई नहीं सिखा सकता, मुझसे बेटर वैल्यू मेरे कंटेंट में कोई नहीं दे सकता. डू नॉट डू दैट. अगर कोई और आपको बोलता है आप गुरु हो तो हो, आप खुद को मत बोलो, ठीक है? दैट इज something. um the other thing that I believe is when we are on this journey of being an influencer, it becomes really difficult for us to not think about कितना likes आया, कितना followers आया, बढ़ रहे हैं नहीं बढ़ रहे हैं. हर रोज देखेंगे, हर रोज स्वाइप ऐसे करके रिफ्रेश करके देखेंगे कि यार आ रहा है हमारा हमारा कहाँ पे, हम कहाँ पे स्टैंड करते हैं, बिकॉज वी ऑल एज ह्यूमंस वी नीड वैलिडेशन, वी ऑल नीड वैलिडेशन, राइट? वी ऑल नीड कि हाँ यार तुम्हारा पोस्ट तो बढ़िया था। सुबह उठ के, रात को तुमने एक पोस्ट डाला, सुबह उठ के तुम पहले तो चेक करो कि कितना कमेंट्स आया, कितना लाइक्स आया, कितना ये आया। यू वुड वांट दैट, बिकॉज वी एज ह्यूमंस वी नीड दैट काइंड ऑफ वैलिडेशन। तो ये वाली जब जर्नी होती है, यहाँ पे कभी कभी फ्रस्ट्रेशन आ जाता है कि हमको तो लाइक्स मिल नहीं रहे हैं, हमको फॉलोअर्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं। ये जो फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, इसे थोड़ा सा साइड में रखने के लिए एक्सपेक्टेशंस को नीचे लेके जाओ, एक्सपेक्टेशंस को जीरो कर दो। ये सोच लो कि चलो अगर मैंने आज ये पोस्ट किया है, कल वाले पोस्ट पे 5 लाइक आया, आज वाले पे 6 भी आ गया, तो भी आई बी हैप्पी, मोर देन हैप्पी। आई बी लाइक डांसिंग, आई बी विक्ट्री डांसिंग इफ आई गेट दिस मच। ठीक है? once you keep your
Right.
expectations that low and you get 10 likes, think about the happiness you're gonna get in life, and your whole day, if you wake up in the morning and see 10 likes, your whole day is going to be full of energy or full of happiness. You will be full of dancing here and there. You will be like, this is my day, I'm here to conquer the day. So keep your expectations low, क्योंकि जब जिंदगी में आपको ज्यादा चीजें मिलती हैं, आपको खुशी मिलेगी, लेकिन आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन है 100 और 10 आया, you will get into that stress wala mode, and that is not good for you. Okay, so I think these are the
Right.
only things I think which you should. And yes, if you're really trying to become an influencer, do not focus on the number of followers. Do not. Because I myself do not. I know I'm an influencer. I know I influence people's decisions. I know there are big CEOs who listen to me, take my advice on to how to build their personal brand, on how to become influencers. There are big brands working with me, hearing me out, telling me, "Ki, Anita, a problem hai. How are we going to solve it?" I'm giving them solutions. I am an influencer when they are putting in money onto doing some marketing campaigns. I am influencing their decisions, but I do not have the number of followers. I just have around what 1200 something followers on Instagram. But does that matter? No, because there are these big CEOs listening to me, getting influenced by me. Doesn't those number of followers don't tell you how big an influencer you are, because
Well,
those numbers don't matter. So yeah, keep those in mind while you are on this journey, so that you can be stress free and you can be happy.
okay. Okay. Ma'am, that was really incredible and nice having you on board. Uh,
Come
I
on.
guess our participants as well, like they just had a knowledge bomb coming from your side,
Mm,
and it will take them some time to process all the information.
I am sure. But if there is anything that I could help you with, please feel free to ping me on Instagram. I'm sure you guys have my handle, and it's at the rate Anita Tejwani. And you guys can anytime.
I'll link all your handles. I'll link all your handles down below in the live chat so that they
Okay.
can visit your profile and they can talk to you if they're willing to.
Sure. That would be great. And it was lovely talking for like 2 hours.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for giving your time.
Yeah. Take care.
Sure, man.
Hello everyone. I just wanted to clarify. Please find the feedback form link in the live chat itself. It'd be great if you could fill in the form, because on the basis of whoever has filled the form, we'll be sending out the certificates for the workshop. So please do not miss out on that. Uh, we'll be giving you 2 minutes to fill in the form. It's not too long. You do not have to write in much. It's just to know what kind of events you'd like in the future as well. Okay, coming to thanking ma'am. Ma'am, it was an amazing session, and I think everybody who attended and all of us took something away from the session which will be very useful for us in the future. Along with that, I'd like to, on behalf of the entire team, thank the mods who took in all of your questions and allowed the amazing Q&A session which followed, and Aryan for asking those questions proactively. Coming to the next important thing, something that everybody has been waiting for, we'll be having a quiz for deciding on the reward winners. If you are not aware, we have three rewards for all of you. We have a Boat Rockers headphones, we have an MI backpack, and the major prize, we have a MI smart band as well. So, after you have filled in the feedback form link, please join in the quiz using this code and link, which is available on the screen itself right now. The link and the code will be both sent to you in the live chat itself. So we'll be waiting for around 5 minutes for everybody to join in before starting the quiz. It's a very short quiz, but the code Ishika is 861679, and the link as well has been sent in the live chat itself. So please join in. Also, another thing, please use your real names while joining in so that we can verify your names before contacting you for giving you your rewards in case you win. Any person with a fake name or not their full name will not be eligible to win their prizes. So if you've joined in with the wrong name, please rejoin the quiz. I know it's a bit of a hassle, but it's for the prizes. So we have 12 people in right now. Tanmay, if you could please join in with your full name or the name that you registered with, it would be really nice. Uh, okay, 14 people. If you've joined in, just write a yes in the chat so we know that there's nobody missing before we start out on the quiz, please. 22 people, that's really nice. Okay. Also, yes, if you do win the quiz, please take a screenshot of your leaderboard either on your phone or on your laptop because we'll be asking for a verification so that the prizes do not end up in any wrong hands. 25 people. Okay. We'll be just giving everybody 2 minutes and then we'll be starting with the quiz. Okay, amazing. So we'll be starting off now. Please make sure, okay, we have 30 people. Please make sure that you answer correctly and answer properly. You'll have 20 seconds for each question, and you'll not be able to repeat any questions or be able to answer them again. So please make sure you take that screenshot as well because we'll be using that to verify and we'll be starting off with the quiz now. Good luck, everyone. Aryan and Abhinav are at the top. So play well, guys. Guys, we're waiting on 5 more people to complete the quiz. So please do it soon. And let's see if any of those 5 people can take up the first 3 positions as of now. Guys, do hurry up, please. We do not have much time left. There's just 4 people who have not completed the quiz. So please, okay, we have somebody known as ABC. Please do keep in mind that if this is not the name that you have registered with, you will not be eligible for any prizes. So the prizes will be going to the rank holders below you as of now. 36 people out of 40 done. Okay. We just have a few more minutes, guys. Please finish up. We'll be ending the quiz soon. Guys, we'll be ending the quiz in a minute. I request a few other people who are left to complete the quiz to please do so in the next minute because we'll be ending the quiz right now. Okay, guys, we'll be ending the quiz right now. Thank you for everybody who has joined. And we have our top 5, which should be visible on the screen. We have Aryan, we have Premda, and we have ABC. ABC, I'm really sorry, but you will not be eligible if this is not the name that does not match your registered name. Also, on behalf of MLSSRM, I thank you for joining into our session, and please make sure again to fill up the feedback forms so that you get your certificates for the workshop itself. Also, Femda, Aryan, uh, and Riti will be contacting you through your registered contact details. If they are not valid, we will be going up to the next participant as per rank. Thank you everyone for joining in. Please do not forget to fill the feedback form. The form link as well as a QR code for the form will be put up on the live stream in a few seconds. Thank you so much, everyone.